Hi there. If you can believe, Rivian is traded above the cash on hand. As you can see here, the market cap is about 9.8 billion. Keep in mind this number. And their cash position is about 9.3 billion. If you do the math, 7.8 billion in cash and cash equivalents and 1.5 billion short-term investments. So in total, 9.3 billion. And now the market cap is traded around that level, 9.8 billion. So this seems quite amazing. You can buy Rivian around the cash on hand. Now you also have to ask yourself, what's the upside? Can this stock Rivian reach $100 per share? Well, if you look at the industry they operate in, the electric SUV market, you can see that it is expected to grow by 14% a year. A compound annual growth rate of 14% a year. So this is amazing, a nice growth rate. By the way, as you probably know, Rivian manufactures SUVs and also pickup trucks. If you look at both markets, for SUV, you can see this amazing growth rate of about 14%, and for pickup truck, the growth rate is smaller, about 5.3%. But still, this is a nice growth rate. Because Rivian is a small company, they only have about 4.4 billion revenue, and the total market for 2023 was over 200 billion for pickup trucks. And for SUVs, electric SUVs, the market was about the same, 200 billion in 2023. But of course, this market is expected to grow more in the future, to over 500 billion by 2030. As I said, a compound annual growth rate over 14%. So to answer the first question, can Rivian reach $100 per share? Well, this depends on their future growth rate. If Rivian can deliver more cars in the future. As you've probably seen, Rivian reported the results for the first quarter 2024, production and deliveries. And as you can see, the company, Rivian, produced almost 14,000 vehicles and delivered about 13.5 thousand vehicles in Q1 2024. So if you compare the results for the first quarter of 2024 with the last quarter from Q4 2023, you can see that in Q4 2023, they produced over 70,000 vehicles. So this number was higher compared to the first quarter of 2024, where they produced 15,000. And their deliveries were about the same, about 13.9 thousand vehicles. So compared to the last quarter, Q4 2023, you can see a small decline in their deliveries from 14.9 thousand vehicles to 13.5 thousand vehicles. So this is not a huge decline, especially with this environment, with high interest rates, over 5%. All electric cars and other car companies have reported a slower growth rate. I mean a flat growth rate. Not only Rivian is facing problems right now, also Tesla, NIO, BYD, and other car companies. And this may be a good opportunity for you to get in, if you believe in the future of this company, Rivian, that they'll grow more in the future, they'll gain more market share, and can become profitable. So as I said, the company is traded about the cash on hand, 9.8 billion market cap and 9.3 billion in cash. Now, if you research more about this company, you can also see that Rivian has some debt, about 4.4 billion. So their net cash position is about 4.9 billion, if you do the math. And compared to the market cap of 9.8 billion, that's half of the market cap. However, this is still good, that they have some cash on hand. Because, as you've seen, Rivian has no profits. Their loss from operations for 2023 were over 5 billion, over 6 billion in 2022, and over 4 billion in 2021. So, as Rivian is in the early stages, they are investing more in their manufacturing facilities and research and development. They will need more money to expand their business. And that's why you see those huge losses. And this is good that they have more cash on hand, about 9.3 billion, because they can fund their operations, expand their business, increase their production, and if interest rates go down, also their deliveries may increase if they can gain more market share in the future. But so far, as you can see, they have huge losses, over 5 billion for the last 2 years, 2023 and 2022. And as you can see, they made in revenue over 4.4 billion in 2023, but the cost of revenue was over 6.4 billion. This happened because, as you can see, Rivian doesn't have a large capacity for production. They only produced 14,000 in the first quarter and deliver about the same number. So, in order to achieve a profit, because this business requires a lot of capital, they have to scale this business a lot. I mean, this number, their production and deliveries, to be over 100,000. So the Rivian can produce a profit. Because as you know, this business requires a lot of capital. And to make a profit, they need economy of scale to increase their deliveries and production. Of course, also their costs, especially the cost of revenue, has to go down. Because now their cost, as you can see here, is higher than the revenue. But as they expand their business, they produce more, they improve their efficiency, they might be able to lower this cost. And if that happens, their gross profit will be positive, will increase from a loss of 2 billion to maybe a profit 2 billion. And if they can keep their expenses low, this company may make a profit in the future if they can gain more market share. So you look at the revenue right now for 2023, they made 4.4 billion revenue. And if you look at the market size for pickup trucks, which is 200 billion, and electric SUVs, which is about the same, 200 billion, you can see that they have room to grow. If Rivian reach a market share of 20%, then the revenue might be around 20 billion. And if that happens, and they have efficiency in their business, in their manufacturing, then this company may become profitable. That can also happen. So if that happens, Rivian reports a profit, then the stock price of Rivian will rebound. How much? This depends on their future profits. Now, this is the upside. But you also have to be aware of the risk. Because as you can see, their losses are quite high, especially for the last 3 years, over 5 billion. And if Rivian doesn't succeed to lower their costs, then they might face more problems in the future, because this cash on hand may not be sufficient. They might burn this money in the next 2 years. And if they don't make a profit to improve their loss from operations, then Rivian will need more cash. And guess what? Who will pay for their expenses? Well, they might take on more debt, because as you can see, they currently have 4.4 billion, or maybe both, they will start issuing more shares. As you can see, if you look at the number of shares for Rivian from 2020 to 2023, it has increased from 200 million to almost 1 billion, over 900 million. So this is a lot of dilution. And you have to be very careful, because if this number grows more in the future, then your value, your shares will decrease in value over time. especially if Rivian doesn't make a profit. So this is the risk. This company may not succeed to make a profit. And if that happens, your investment won't do great in the future. That's why you have to be very careful if you do decide to invest in this company, Rivian. Pay close attention to the revenue, and of course, the most important, their costs. If their costs doesn't decrease, or their costs grow more than their revenue, then this is a red flag, and you have to be aware of it. As you've seen, the market expects a lot of growth ahead, especially for electric SUVs, a compound annual growth rate over 14%. And also for pickup trucks, a nice growth rate, over 5%. And as Rivian made only 4.4 billion revenue for 2023, they have a lot of room to grow. But everything depends on their efficiency, their management, and if they can keep those costs low. If that happens, they will make a profit and your investment will do great in the future. But if they don't, then you know the answer. Year to date, a decline of 51%, and from the highest peak, a decline over 90%. And this may happen again. You may see another decline of 50% from 9 billion to 4 billion if Rivian doesn't become profitable in the next 5 years. That's why you have to be very careful. And it's up to you if you want to take the risk or focus only on the reward. Compound annual growth rate over 14%. So that's it for this video, and if you have other questions, please let me know in the comments.